As a leader, do you always need to be a tough negotiator?
You need to be one, but not always, and I would even say really think deeply before you are one. So you only use it when needed. So I like the phrase, as one of my mentors once said, an iron fist in a velvet glove. And that means it relates to the threats people make. So threats you only make at the really ultimate end, when you feel you have to put pressure on people. And also then you still have to realize if you make a threat, you have to follow up the threat, else you become not credible anymore for future negotiations, because that's an important aspect as well. There's nothing as a one-off negotiation. Your reputation is determined also about what other people say, and you will have to negotiate in the future anyway with other parties who may know other parties. So in that sense, always be careful with being tough.
Can you lead negotiations, or is that just a dream?
Well, I think most people think it's a dream. What I like to do in our negotiation program is really focusing on how to make that dream come alive. Leading negotiations, for most people, sounds very challenging and probably even threatening, because it means, why do you need the other one if you're leading? Do you need the other one? So what we mean by leading negotiations is really that you're able to create situations or conditions that will actually maximize both outcomes, the outcomes for you and the outcomes for the other party. So it's maximizing joint value. Some people may say, why do you want to maximize joint value? Well, because if you're negotiating, it means you also need the other party, else you don't have to sit together at the table. So you need to create a situation where people are willing to disclose information, where people are willing to take each other's perspective. And in order to do that, the one who is most effective in interpreting and understanding the motives and the positions of the other person can actually create a condition where you basically can lead and direct a little bit how the negotiation will go. So what we'll focus on very much so is how to create that situation, because you'll be leading it. That doesn't mean that the other person necessarily knows about it.
What are the key skills in leadership in creating value for both yourself and the collective?
Well, I think there's a range of skills there, and it already starts with meeting each other. The other one needs to feel respected, that you're serious, that you're there for a clear purpose, and most importantly, every negotiation, if you're not serious about it, don't start negotiating. So basically, you start negotiating, it means you want to cooperate. So respect is the first thing that people need to feel. They need to like you, because liking will lower thresholds, you'll have more influence. Another key skill is definitely go beyond your own perspective. Understand what motivates the other person. Why does the other person show this behavior? Because it quite often indicates what they want to achieve as well. So look at their interests, not at the positions they take. Sometimes they may be aggressive, but that's because they get frustrated. It has nothing to do with what they want to achieve. When you can use their desires, you maximize your own goals.
What biases do leaders suffer from when negotiating?
In our program, we'll focus a lot on biases, because when negotiating, there's a conflict of interests. And of course, we all look at our own interests in a different way than we look at the interests of others. By definition, we're biased. But two biases that are very important already in understanding negotiations in general. The first one is what we call an agreement bias. So if you ask most people, how does a negotiation feel? What do you think about a negotiation? Most answers will be pretty negative. People will feel excited, but in a negative way, because they'll feel restless, anxiety, stressful. They want to have it over with quickly. So this is why we call it an agreement bias. People are very happy and relieved when they get to an agreement quickly. But the point is actually finding the right agreement, which may take time, which may take different routes. So don't fall prey of the agreement bias. The second one is the winner's curse. And it's related to it in a sense. You get an agreement quickly. You see the other party was very willing to go along with it. Yes, you have an agreement. Yes, you may have won because you said, I want this. They give it to you. And you see they're very happy. You're not going to be happy because you suddenly realize, I didn't sell it well. Probably I could have gotten more because they're too happy for such a quick solution. So those are two biases that people fall prey to.